No, sir, it's a 2:30, so we can start now.
So, good afternoon to all the participants.
Good afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon,
Good
sir.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Today's talk
Good
is
afternoon, sir.
Smart City, a sustainable and green initiative. In fact, if you look back, then for the last few years, lot of things are being uttered in different media about the smart city. But unfortunately, the problem is that everybody looks at the smart city from his or her perspective, and they are not able to apprehend the total information about the smart city. Again, to sorry that I am also from that same herd, that I have tried to encompass all the aspects, but toward the end, again, I have moved towards the core electrical engineering. This smart city itself consists of smart city, smart grid, everything is smart. Now, once we are talking a lot about the smart, then naturally the first question start that what does the smart means? Most of the time, a challenge is that many people are unable to differentiate between the word intelligent and smart. So I will just narrate a case and one can appreciate that what is the difference between smart and intelligence. Suppose a peon is assigned a task that different papers are coming in the office. He or she is supposed to file those papers in the respective files. If the organization is an academic institution, then he or she may be getting some service related paper, some attendance related paper, some marks related paper, and that person is diligently doing the task of filing the paper in the respective files. Definitely, I will say that is smart, but you cannot say intelligent. If a situation arises that a document which is having marks as well as attendance is there, now the question of decision making is involved, that is the intelligence is to be taken. Now the look at the paper, he will either she will identify whether it is having marks as well as attendance, both components are there to file it, and the person will analyze whether it is a situation when the marks have already been submitted, it is now attendance only which matters. So that will be filed in the attendance file, not in the marks file. If the situation otherwise, that means that is intelligence. So there is a significant difference between the smart and intelligence. Intelligence involves decision making process, while the smartness involves already predefined rules, using those rules to execute a task. So that is the difference between smart and intelligent. So smart and intelligent are not interchangeable words, or they cannot be used in place one in place of the other. Now in this smart city, I will be discussing the smart city, and in between I will also tell you where exactly still gaps are there, where research can be done, and it will be a fruitful exercise. Now, in brief, I can say that the smartness involved from the developing the smart sensors, developing the network, developing the smart decision making process, developing blah blah blah, and even when you are interfacing different, then it involves a cyber security. When there is a data is there, so it also involves how to communicate with within different devices. So all are the issues, and definitely the overall objective of all this is that we have to enhance the quality of life of the people with higher efficiency. The end result is quality of life to be improved and the efficiency should be very good. A recent situation arose and all are aware that the servers of AIMS were hacked, and it resulted in the data of the patient was sold in the black market for some few hundreds and thousands of rupees. So that is the situation. How important, once that we are working on the smart, that means definitely the all the information will be placed on the cloud and shared among them. Therefore, it is very intelligent. Then nobody other than the authorized users can access the data. So cyber security is also a big challenge in case of smart cities. Sometime back, that today only I am just missing out. I read that some server has been hacked and data has been stolen. So situations are every day. It is a changing world. Challenges are there, and we have to address those challenges and develop the technology in such a way that it is safe and reliable. So other parameters are safe and reliable. Now, in this presentation, what I have covered measurement technique, because it is, as I told you earlier, that it is more toward the electrical. So measurement techniques of level, flow, pressure, and temperature. All in case of smart city, also these level, flow, pressure, and temperature all are the parameter which to be need to be monitored. Hydraulic heads and mechanical vibration. Say, for example, if you are traveling in a car, if it is vibrating too much, then the ride will not be a comfortable ride. Or you can appreciate that the too much vibration either results from the poorer road condition or poorer your tire condition. So one has to then, based on these parameters, some decisions are to be taken, and this means the smart system. Temperature scanners, alarms and issue. If some parameter goes beyond a certain limits, then there should be alarm. For example, in the modern four-wheelers do have a provision that if you leave a door ajar, then it happens that it continues to drive at very low speed. That means you are parking the vehicle. But if you try to increase the speed, the buzzer starts and it reminds you that there is some problem. And the display also indicate your door is open. So such type of all systems are required in smart city, that the parameters should not exceed the set threshold limits. Another issue in the smart city context is many of you must have used the internet banking facility provided by State Bank of India. I am just taking the example of this to explain how the security is to be implemented. Earlier, when the people used to log in the State Bank of India internet banking site, then they used to give the username and then give the password, and that was where you were accessing the data of that particular account. Now the things have changed in order, because it can be, your password can be stolen by the keylogger software which can be installed on the machine. So instead of that, they have introduced one more, that is sending the 6-digit one-time password on your mobile phone. If you look in the technology side, they have done a tremendous task in the sense that they could have sent that 6-digit OTP through that screen only. But if you are sharing that same screen, then definitely you are having a problem that same mode is being used to communicate with the information. What they are doing is sending through GSM network, that they are having two different networks. One is TCP/IP and another is GSM. So using the two different modes, they are ensuring that if anyone is being hacked, the other simultaneously other being hacked is chances are very remote. Another feature which is a new random number generated. This new random number generated is changes. So if you have the OTP previous OTP, it will not work for the subsequent login. So it is the way how the cyber security is they are ensuring. It is just an example, and we have to look on the different aspects how this security can be implemented. The references being from again from the core books, that is the Industrial Instrumentation and Control by S.K. Singh. Another reference is Power Plant Engineering by B.L. Singhal. And the another reference is Modern Power Station Practice, Volume F, Control and Instrumentation, British Electricity International. Now, what is a smart sustainable city? First question starts. A smart sustainable city is an innovative city that uses information and communication technology. So that is, as I have already explained, that it is information is and communication is the backbone of any smart city, and other means to improve quality of life, efficiency of urban operation and services, and the competitiveness while ensuring that it meets the needs of present and future generations with respect to economic, social and environmental aspects. So for a smart city, the aspects are economic, social as well as environmental aspect. Suppose I am having a project to lay the suburban train service. For the suburban train service, if a significant green cover is being removed, then definitely environmental aspect is being compromised. In place of that, now the people in India also, we have Minister of the Surface Transport, we are planning that from important points, depending upon the priorities, ropeways to be there, and even for the patient transfer in metropolitan cities, these projects are being studied that from different load centers up to that point, the patient can be transported to road ambulance. Then the patient will be shifted to ropeway ambulance, and the ropeway ambulance will lead the patient directly to the hospital. So such type of things are also part of smart city, and it addresses the it improves the quality of life as well as it is more environmental friendly projects. Now working groups for the management of smart city, there are four basic working groups. First working group, role of ICT and roadmap for smart sustainable city. Smart second working group is smart sustainable cities infrastructure. Third is matrix for smart sustainable cities. Number four is policy and positioning. Now group number one, which deals with the ICT role and roadmap for smart sustainable city, I am discussing. Objective is to provide an overview of smart sustainable city and establish what the role of ICT is in relation to such an urban environment. The highlights are: this report describes the main attributes of a smart and sustainable city and provides reader with a better understanding of what constitutes an smart sustainable city. It identifies the role and potential of information and communication technologies in an smart sustainable city and outlines at a high level the key ICT infrastructure which will enable smart sustainable strategies. So definitely the ICT infrastructure is another aspect. Once ICT infrastructure, it is not only hardware, but it is also the protocols which are to be followed. For example, the protocols which are followed in power system communication is IEC 61850. Similarly, for presently, for many of the tasks that the same protocol is being followed in smart sustainable cities, but I'm sure that after some time, it will be separate protocols being followed for the smart sustainable cities. Second working group is smart sustainable cities infrastructure. So what should be there in the infrastructure is also important. Working Group 2 technical reports different areas of integrated management, climate change adoption. For example, in the city, if the global temperature, global warming, temperature is increasing. And another philosophy is that we are moving towards the ice age. That means that during the winter, the temperature will be going down. So in fact, it will result in enhanced power requirement during the summer for cooling purposes and enhanced power requirement for during the winter for heating purposes. So
આપી
it
કે
should be capable of adapting to the changing requirement.
ના ભાઈ ના
Nowadays, suppose in a
બંધ
city
જ છે તું
having the 10 megawatt
તને
demand,
સ્પીકર માંથી સાહેબ નો અવાજ
then
નહીં આવતો બાપ
it is expected that the demand will
ના
increase
સાહેબ
with a
નો અવાજ તો
rate
આવે છે
of 6% per
હા
annum
તો એ
for
નાના
urban
નેટવર્ક
areas,
કદાચ
while
વીક
for the
હશે
rural areas,
સિગ્નલ
the
ની
growth
સ્ટ્રેન્થ
will
નહીં
be
હોય એટલે
still
કઈ નહીં
poorer,
બહુ
and
ચિંતા
in
ના
some
કર મેં
cases
રેકોર્ડિંગ ચાલુ રાખેલું છે
negative
તે
as well
ફોટો બોટો
because
બી
of the
પાડી લીધો મેં જોયું
migration of people from
તારો અવાજ નહીં આવતો
rural
ના નહીં
area
આવતો
to urban
ના નહીં
area.
આવતો
And again, the smart city has to adopt for these changes in the population
અનમ્યુટ
drift
થયેલો દેખાય છે તું
taking place. Now, the important and the most of the time
હા
it
વાંધો
has
નહીં
a
હા જો
lot of words has been there in the
આરતી તને
media that the
સ્ક્રીનશોટ
high
મેં લઈ
boil
લીધો
war
છે
will
તું
be
આવી ગયું છે
held
ભાઈ
due
હું
to the
ખબર તે ચાલુ કરી
water.
દીધેલું
So
તારો વિડીયો
it is the smart water management is another
તે
aspect.
લખી બી નાખ્યું ને
Cyber
વોટ્સએપ પેલું નામ
security
તારું ને તે બી મેં
resilience
જોઈ
is
લીધું
definitely an
હા
important area which
હા
I have just narrated
હા
about the
બસ એ મેં
importance
જોઈ
of it.
લીધું
Now,
બસ બસ
because we will be using lot of
હા
automation,
હા
therefore there
પણ તું
will be
પ્રિયંક શાહ
lot of
દેખાતો નહીં અત્યારે મીટિંગમાંથી
electromagnetic
કઈ
interferences.
નહીં આઈ
So
જઈશ
it is
પાછો અત્યારે
area
તું
of
ફોન ચાલુ કરે છે
consideration.
એટલે
Buildings have to be smart.
કઈ
They
વાંધો નહીં
have
હા
to adapt.
હા હા
For example,
ઓકે
the
ભાઈ હા ચાલ
buildings, if they are
હા
having
કાલ
the
આયો તો ખરો હા
polarized glasses
હા
window glasses are polarized,
હા હા
then they will
ચોક્કસ ચોક્કસ આયા
automatically
હા
change
ભાઈ હા
depending
મળીએ
upon the intensity of the sun at in that window. So it will make the inside always comfortable, and you can appreciate that those who use polarized glasses lenses in their spectacles, they also use with the same objective that never the ocular stress should be due to the bright light should be more. Similarly, not only the buildings, entire infrastructure has to be smart, and once you are having all the data because you are that migration, other data is there. That means the data should be shared by all. Suppose the population of the town increases or the temperature falls during the winters, then this information should be available to power supply company, it should be available to the water supply system, it should be available to everybody so that they can, if required, they can do the required changes in their setup automatically so that the quality remains unaffected. So the object, then the working group 2 technical report on smart water management in cities.
હા ભાઈ
So
કોઈ બૂમ
smart
પાડી દી
water management
કોઈને
in
કે કામ છે
cities seeks to alleviate changes in the
ભાઈ આખી
urban
ચેક
water
કરી દે ને ભાઈ બધી
management and
કમ્પ્લીટ
water sector through the incorporation of information and communication technologies, products, solution, and systems in areas of water management and sanitation. I am taking an example
ઓ
of
છોકરી
sometime
તું એ બધું બંધ કર તું બધાની
last
હાજરીનો નંબર લખાવે ચાલ
monsoon.
તું એ
There
કામ
were
કરીશ
pictures in print media
તારે
about the
બધાની હાજરી એક
Rajput
કાગળમાં
underpass
લખવાની
was underwater and people were swimming in
બરોબર ને
that.
કઈક તો
Is
કામ
it
કરશે ને
a
કોઈ
feature of a smart city? No. Definitely, there should be certain arrangement that once the water level exceeds a pre-decided threshold, then automatically the water drainage pump should start and they should flush out all the water from there. So that is the basically smartness. Otherwise, it is there that the operator goes. So that means the human smartness is being used instead of the machine smartness. Now, smart water management technologies will require sensors and sensor network, smart pipes, smart metering, communication modems, geographic information systems, cloud computing, supervisory control and data management, that is SCADA, model optimization tools and decision support, web-based communication and information system tools, Smart water management integration will use intelligent solution in urban water management, remote monitoring solution to urban wastewater management technology for urban flood management. I said that I took the example from Gujarat only about the Rajkot underpass. If the information, once the water crosses a certain threshold, why can't we close automatically that road? The barrier should fall and there should be a message be displayed. And this information not only be available to the user reaching there, it should be available to all the community. So if some at the remote place, sitting at the remote place, somebody want to that
हेलो
someone should move through that underpass to go, so he or she is
आज हमें
able to
सेशन
warn the person.
सेशन अटेंड
So
कर
it is basically that it should be the data
वो
should
अड़ी
be
थी 4 आधे में
available
रिसर्च
on
हुए છે
cloud, and this should be
ये
such data
बोल
which
वांधो
is
नहीं
not going to just for many people, while the rights should be only to the authorized person. And it should have some smart tools there itself in the smart water management system. So if you look, the objectives of water quality and reliability, lower operational cost, then green water system, that the whatever water is available, we are having water. One is the potable water, another is discharge water. It is coming from the bath. Why can't we use that if the water coming from the bath can't be used after proper filtration for flushing the toilets? Definitely, yes. So that is the how we can resources which are natural resources are not infinite, they are limited. And from it is some of the city in India itself are going
भाई
dry.
पतली वाली
So we
बाकी है
have to look on that
आप इधर
aspect that it is an
कौन चला फ्रिज
impact of climate change, water scarcity is going. So
अल्लाह
we
अल्लाह
have
तने
to
नहीं कहिए भाई
reuse and reuse the water
तू
which
बीजा
is
कम मारे
available
हमણાં
to us. So what can be
ભઈલું
done that the
તારી ઈચ્છા છે ને
green
કરી
water
દેવાની
system
તો કર નાખ
expects that
તને
this
નહીં કે પેલા
water
તાર
can
પાછળ
be
વાળાએ લઈ લીધી
reused for
ચોપડી
some
હાથમાં
other purpose,
ફોટો
and
પાડ્યો
once it
પેલો
is
બધા
being
પેજનું
used
હા
to the
સર્ટિફિકેટ ને
flushing,
બધું જ
then after treatment, effluent from the sewage treatment plants can be used for the watering of the field, which will have some micronutrients as well as water. So it can work very well. Similarly, another
ભાઈ જો
that the
તમે લોકો છે
entire
ને આ કામ કોઈ મારા
sewage
માટે
treatment plants
તમે આ
required
બધું
to be
તમારા લોકો ના બધું
smart
માટે
in
કરજો
them, that
એટલે
there
આ
should be
બધી લેટર
there
છે ને
are
કામ કરજો
technologies have
એટલે
been
મારું છે
developed
એમાં જો
which
તમારે
results
પેજનું
in
બનાવી
zero effluent
આ તો
sewage
કમ્પ્લીટ
treatment
છે તો
plants.
બધા અલગ અલગ મિત્રો અલગ અલગ
Then
એને
increase
વાંચી વિડીયો
customer
આપશે
choice and control.
પછી તમારે આખું પ્રેક્ટિકલી
I
બનાવી
still remember when
તમારે શું
I
થશે
was in the
ખાલી પછી
initial
એક
phase of my
થશે
teaching
આખું થશે
career.
એટલે
I went
તમારું
to NIT Calicut. At that time, it was REC Calicut, and they were having two taps. One tap was meant for only cleaning the floor and cleaning your clothes, washing the clothes. But another tap was for taking the bath. The reason was one, the water used to, which was used to taken for taking bath was filtered, while this another tap was not having the unfiltered water. So what we are doing that customer choices that do require more filtered water or more unfiltered water. Another aspect it can be during the morning hours, the maximum demand of water is in the toilets. But after around 8:30 or 8 o'clock, the demand shifts from toilets to kitchen in Indian style of living. It shifts to kitchen. So why not we automatically switch pumps, water circulating pump from which were being used to maintain the pressure in the pipeline for the in the toilet area. Now we should switch them towards the kitchen side and so on. So depending upon the different part of the day, we can switch the different look water supply can pressure can be maintained at different. And during the night hour, the only demand which will be a small demand will maybe in the kitchen and far lesser demand in the toilet room. So what we can do that during that time, instead of running all the pressure maintaining pumps simultaneously, we can continue with fewer pumps, saving the energy. So this is basically how intelligently and smartly, in this case, that initially the decision will be intelligent, and once the rules will be framed, then it will be the smartness. Now the working group 2 technical report on electromagnetic EMF considerations in smart sustainable cities. Introduction to smart sustainable city and importance of ICT and EMF consideration based on WHO technical and policy recommendation. Technical and policy requirement for EMF should be adopted nationally based on international recommendations. Cities need guidance on implementation, promotes efficient deployment, provides a model framework as benchmark. Smart sustainable city EMF checklists have to be drawn. That what should be the checklist. I just in this reference I would like to share that the you must have noticed that with the introduction of mobile net signal, that is a GSM network, gradually the house sparrows are vanishing. It is because of the fact that the frequency which was used to GSM2 network, then the G2, G3 networks, the frequency used to be in that range where their hollow bone, which contained some bone marrow, used to have this microwave heating, and due to this microwave heating, they were dying out. So what they did, because of this pattern, they migrated to the safer areas where the lesser microwave signal is there. So gradually now for the similarly for the human being also, it happens if you continue to use mobile phone longer duration, then the region of the brain behind the ear gets heated and starts degenerating. So that is, these are basically issues because the data communication signal will be there, data to communicate the data. Therefore, we have to look at what method is to be adopted and what should be the different limits. So within that WHO framework, we can only work on this count. Now the document key factor for the ICT connecting our world to it provides guidance on implementation and promotes efficient development of wireless networks in smart sustainable cities. It features a smart sustainable city checklist, EMF checklist, designed to provide an easy to use reference for city officials and planners to ensure smart city policies operate most efficiently and comply with EMF exposure standards. On the W Working Group 2 report on ICT for climate change adoption in cities describes in general terms the impacts of climate change in cities and highlights the reasons for cities to improve their capacity to respond to the challenges posed by climate change. Further expands by identifying the role of ICT in helping the cities to adapt to climate change. One issue can be that if we can find some area where the tree plantation can be done, because the trees works as a buffer, and it is basically reduces the impact of climate change on the cities. So we have to look now to for the sustainment of these trees, what we can do that daily how much water is required by different trees. So instead of manually going with the tanker, instead of consuming the fuel, consuming the manpower, what we can do the automatically what we can water these trees which are planted. Framework for ICT's integration in urban adoption to assist policy makers in developing effective adoption strategies and building resilient cities. It is step one is urban hazard mapping and community. Step two is urban risk reduction and public awareness. Step three is urban capacity building and networking. Fourth is stakeholder and community involvement. So it is a cross sectoral adoption policy process. And if you looked at the information communication aspect, that the cities set the urban planning, mobility, infrastructure, building, energy, water, health, waste management, food security, disaster management, and much more. So it is basically keeping all these factors in the use for the urban adaptation. Working Group 2 technical report on cyber security, data protection and cyber resilience in smart sustainable cities explores the requirement and challenges of creating a secure, reliable and resilient. Consider how to provide innovative resilient solutions that leverage digital information while protecting against malicious violation, unintentional damage, and natural disasters. Now, another challenge is that natural disasters. I still remember these floods long back at Morbi, and everything was submerged in water. If unfortunately your data is available only at your local end, and if something happens, that the data will be lost. So why not to ensure the reliability of the redundancy that the data is not lost, you should have servers located at different location where the data can be stored. So, like in case of bank, normally they are having the data available at the branch level. They do the banking for the same day, but at the closer of the day, what they do, they prepare media for that day's activity, and they upload all the transaction on the server, and server then stores it in multiple that the mirror images are kept. So this is another philosophy that how it can be protected. Now, security architecture of a smart sustainable city. Smart city information security system provides security for a smart city from technology and management. So what information security infrastructure, then security management center, key management centers, and identify the center. Information security management, it is basically physical and environmental security, system security, network security, data and application security. And sometimes you may have wrote some program such that it modifies the source data. So it should not be possible. It should not. You have to ensure that nothing can be written on the server by anybody. It should be only authorized person should be able to write on the server or modify the server data. Uh, Another aspect is medical tariff, travel safety. That is a medical aspect. Traffic is another aspect. Travel is another, yet another safe city. Energy saving, government functioning, food safety, and community. And one can add up lot many ideas in it depending upon one's own vision and awareness. So it is a matter of feeling the things and you can make them. For example, medical, if you look, then in medical, you expect that the patient should not travel to a long distance. He or she should be given the very in standard practice also in the very basic first aid is given at home. Then we go to a mohalla clinic or nearby clinic. Then from there we go to the district hospital. If the problem is still unsolved, then we go to the super specialty center. Similarly, but it should be monitored and from where to where. Entire hierarchy is to be definitely available and it should be and the information now the government of India has done an initiative that all your medical data will be deposited in a central repository. So if you go, your medical number will be there. You show that medical number. So any hospital can access that data. They cannot modify it. They can add, but they cannot change the previous stored data. So that is all information will be available now with that project. soon time will be there when you will not be asked to carry any medical history with you. So that is a smartness. That technology was there, but use of technology is basically smartness. Similarly, travel, that if you have to go, at what time the next service will be available, whether the service has just left, so you can manage like that if it is a 1 minute, and instead of wasting your time, one can move that. I will be able to make that service. Similarly, travel safe city security issue is also. I take an example. There is environmental impact. Now the safe city can be used in the Rajkot underpass. Suddenly can be used if the warning is flood there, and one will know that the water height in the Rajkot underpass is unfixed, so car cannot travel through that, so one should not venture into that. So that means it provides safety as well as to its residents. Energy saving tips, having functioning, different functioning should be available, and once it is available, if you are getting the SMS, that is smartness, that you need not to check every day whether that particular document has been issued for you or not. It will be, once it is issued, you get the message. Food safety is also another aspect, that one has to, whether the food is available, where it is available in the public distribution system, where what is grain is available, so one can move accordingly. So there are a lot of issues which can be taken up in the security architecture. Technical specification of ICT architecture of a smart sustainable city. These technical specifications describe architecture and technical requirements of smart sustainable city. Concept, coverage, vision, and use cases of smart and sustainable cities. Characteristics and requirement of smart and sustainable cities. Efficient services and network infrastructure of smart and sustainable cities, as well as its architectural framework from the environmental impact point of view. Now, the architecture of a smart sustainable city is expected to be multi-tier system. So multi-tier system, there are different parameters: smart water, smart energy, smart transport, smart healthcare, safety, emergencies, education and tourism, waste management, buildings. Now, soft infrastructure, it is not only the soft infrastructure which will work, so it will be the natural environment first, then the hard infrastructure, non-ICT base. You require something, some different devices, you require certain equipments which are non-ICT based. Then it comes the hard infrastructure, ICT based. These are basically your laptops, your mobile phones, which are all connected to the network. And then it comes a soft infrastructure. You have to write some codes, you have to develop some coding so that the hard non-ICT and ICT hardware can be effectively used. In some cases, the supply from the ICT hardware is switched on and off for the non-ICT hardware infrastructure. And this is done through the coding or some rule-based system already written on the server. They will ask the ICT-based hardware to pause the contractor to close so that a pump starts in the that is non-ICT hardware, and this pump will be used for flushing the water due to the storm water pump. It will pause the water. So this is basically how the total infrastructure of smart city works. For the smart building, objective is defines a smart intelligent building in the context of smart sustainable city. Survey of current initiatives around building resiliency, outline of potential resiliency protocol. The integrated is to integrate and process the people, events, things, and the corresponding information streams intelligently. Now, at this point, I will be taking an example of the Dreamliner Boeing 787. Those who have traveled through in the Boeing 787 will appreciate that there is no shutter on the aircraft window. The reason is depending upon the when the aircraft is going to take off or land, automatically all glasses are clear, fully transparent. But during a flight, if anybody required to darken it, there is an electric button which can be used to make it darker, and you can use it so that the opacity can be controlled using electrical methods. So that glass is in fact a smart glass. And if this is being used in the building, as I told, the polarized was the initially which was the depending upon the light only. But nowadays the things are electrically operable, that it is not that light, it depends upon your comfort level. It may happen that you may require more light to be comfortable while the some other person will require the lesser light. So if depending upon the user, he or she can control the amount of light, that is the smart glasses. The objective is the integrated management of a smart sustainable city is to integrate and process the people, event, things, and the corresponding information streams intelligently. Suppose it is a very common that if you are using Wi-Fi on your mobile phone, if you go outside that zone of Wi-Fi, the automatically data switches from Wi-Fi network to mobile data. The moment you returns back in the same, automatically connects with that network, and now you are having the data with Wi-Fi. The preference is set on Wi-Fi as compared to the GSM data. So this is basic an example of smartly it is sweeping over from mobile data or GSM data to Wi-Fi data. Access and integration of city information resources. So if it is this system is having the city information available, only then it will be able to provide a solution for any issue. If suppose there is some fire accident, then it if the your automated system is not having the information of the water is available on the fire tanks, then if even if the pumps are switched on, no water will be there. So they can manage that in which tank water is available and in which tank it is not available. If it is not available, it should be filled, or from other nearby tank the water should be directed to this side. So this all decision making are to be taken by the automatically instead of manual, because the manual process will require lot more time. And for that purpose also, for detecting the fire, temperature and smoke detectors can be placed. So automatically the water sprinkler can start, and if the still continues for during a given time, then it should be a fire station, fire tender should be moved to that location. Another is access and integration of city information resources. I have better service of the model of city analysis and decision making. Again, I have used the example to for this purpose to explain this purpose, and to integrate comprehensive management and smart decision making. Again, to see that this aspect I have already covered in the example of fire accident. Now, if you look back, the Working Group 2 Technical Report on Integrated Management of Smart Sustainable Cities. The framework of integrated management for smart sustainable city includes the organization of the resource management standards under the smart city environment. Integrated smart city management standard, then the resource integration standard, fusion processing technical specification, management service specification, then node metadata standards, observation process metadata standards, observation metadata standards, total metadata standard, model metadata standard, then event metadata standard, then technical specification for resource and typonym matching, technical specification for resource and map fusion, Say, for example, you are having some information that's at such a GPS system give you an information that such and such location flooding is there. How to identify whether this flooding is in a pond or in a street? So that is a challenge. So if you can map the GPS data with the actual map of the city, then only you can use it for in a positive way. So that is a technical specification for a resource and map user data service interface specification, model service interface specification, event service interface specification. All interfaces have their own specification. They have to fall in line so that they can be integrated with others. And for this purpose only there is a basically common protocols being used in every dedicated system, smart system. Independent protocols are being developed. As I told, for the power communication, it is IEC 61850 for smart city. Up to some extent, IEC 61850 is being used, and again the architecture is different layers are there. So it is to for implementation, then you need it is definitely a challenge that all transducer will not be having the same way to communicate. So you have to bring them on a common bus. Then this common bus can be should be used to communicate with other system. So then the working group through three, that is matrix for smart sustainable cities. Objective is this technical report possesses a framework of standard for smart sustainable cities and provides a standardization roadmap taking into consideration the activities currently undertaken by the various development activities and forums. It also tries to identify the areas where there is a lack of standard, how to fill the gap, providing the basis for a wider standardizational roadmap. Working Group 3. This technical report provides an overview of activities related to smart sustainable cities currently undertaken by the various smart development organization and forums. Areas covered: smart sustainable city technology standard, SCS services standards, ICT standards, SSC management assessment standards, building and physical infrastructure standards. And lastly, the working group 4, that is policy and positioning. Objectives are smart sustainable cities overview and challenges, methodology for stakeholders identification. For example, if it, very common thing is that the garbage taken out from our house, we throw it on the streets. So why we should also identify who have done that, and we should educate them. So identifying the stakeholder, because in that case every household dwelling owner who mainly is the stakeholder. Every household owner is a stakeholder, and then so you have to identify and to make them aware. Stakeholder analysis and roles, that how he is doing, what the roles they have, we have to explain them the roles and guidelines for smart sustainable city stakeholders to drive smart sustainable city. So smart sustainable city is not can be run by the only the municipal corporation or the civic bodies. It is run by the residents only. Now, objective to help stakeholder identify their roles in the development of the smart sustainable cities and within smart sustainable cities. So two accounts are there. Once the city is to be developed as smart sustainable city, and secondly, once it is developed, so how they should behave for that. Municipality and city administration, including different departments, urban planners, national and regional government, city services companies and utility providers, ICT companies, telecom operators, startups, software companies, etc., NGOs, multilateral organizations, industry associations, academia and scientific community, citizen and citizen organizations, standardization bodies. And to summarize, four working groups needs to be created. ICT rules for smart sustainable cities, smart sustainable cities infrastructure, standardization gaps, KPIs and metrics, KPIs key performance indicator and metrics, policy and usually communications, licensing and members. The SSC has to be agreed upon the following definition for a smart sustainable city. Considerable licensed activities are underway with a host of other SEOs and organizations, including ISO, IEC, IEEE, ETSI, ECDG Connect, UNECA, UNU, STAR, UNESCO, UN Habitat, WHO, UNEP, and UNFCCC. Now coming to the Indian reference, retrospective of 100 smart cities in India. Smart cities in the intersect between competitiveness, capital, and sustainability, making inroads for a smart living. A livable city where the citizens can perform each and every task within the city in smartest possible way and enjoy the experience. So this again I'm just different words are being used to explain what is the objective of a smart city. Massive urbanization is set to skew smart urban livable cities in India. One can appreciate that initially in the metropolis, people used to go to market to purchase all items. Gradually, all the things were available on the online marketing platform, that is Amazon, Flipkart. Gradually, it came up, Amazon Fresh came up. So different nowadays situation is that everything, including your daily vegetable, you can get them at your doorstep. So that is basically concept of smart city. You need not to go outside, need not to take stresses or traveling in the heavy traffic. There are people available who will deliver. They are capable of doing. At least just to share that, I prefer the home delivery definitely. Now, looking at the government, what the government of India is looking. So existing cities are being converted into smart city. Government of India is in the process of converting existing cities into smart cities. Existing cities will be required to augment their basic infrastructure. This would encourage urban migration. A better approach would have been to develop new areas of economic growth and employment generation along the energy corridor. The 100 Smart City mission generated huge public enthusiasm. However, it became a checkbox oriented approach for competition among the various cities. Now you must have been sitting that there are two smart city contest is going on every year in India and another clean city, which happens to be there for the last few years. The Indore is getting that title of the cleanest city. Similarly, the smart city is again going. Now the people, what we have done, instead of taking it in true spirit, what we are doing that we are making it on paper, we are converting them the smart cities. So checkbox whether it is available, yes. If it, although it may be available at only one street, but it is available in the city. The focus shifted on individual ranking of the cities. The development of urban habitats with a robust sustainable environmental resilience was missing from the agenda. what Indian requirements are, and which are very different surveys have been conducted, and based on the feedback received from surveys, it has been it found that what the people look for is a traffic management, water, housing, clean air, clean environment, health care. These are the basic amenities. If you look at the share of that the people want, there is traffic, transport, and parking. 39% people are looking improvement in on that point. If you are going to a city center, if you know beforehand that no parking is available, you will take decide to go to another shopping area. Then the next is 22% people looking for wastewater management and sanitation. Similarly, if you look at the environmental issues, that environment and clean air is another issue which 10% people are looking for. Then internet data connectivity, 8% people. Then heritage to heritage, tourism and culture. If you look, then the percentage is below 6%. Then business, employment, healthcare, and housing. So these are gradually going down, and one can appreciate that the most importantly, people are looking for better traffic transport and parking. So if one can contribute that looking at the parking slots, how many vehicle can be parked in that parking, go on counting the entering vehicle and leaving vehicle. And now the point is that while you are entering and leaving, then it may happen that the parking attendant may be roaming around and he may be counted again and again. Similarly, once he is coming out, he may be counted as leaving. It should not be. It should be based on some intelligence has to be provided to the system such that only when the cars are entering, its count changes, or leaving, then the only should count should change. Urbanization is bound to alter the ecological balance, and it is our prime most moral obligation toward the mother nature that urbanization in case of a smart city does take place with minimal damage to the ecology. Moral commitments pledged by India in COP 21 are commitment to reduce emission intensity by 30 to 35% by 2020, and in that endeavor only it has been we are pushing up electric vehicles. Then 175 gigawatt of renewable energy by 2022, 100 gigawatt from solar, currently 5 gigawatt, and 60 gigawatt from wind, currently 25 gigawatt, and 15 gigawatt from biomass and other renewable sources. For it, what is the current status? Data is not available. Increase the forest cover of the country to absorb around 2.5 to 3 gigatons of carbon from atmosphere. Also to develop certain process due to which the carbon emission can be either stopped or reduced. For that purpose, in electrical engineering, we are having the thermal power station. If in the thermal power station, at the economizer, if its efficiency is increased by just 0.1%, then per megawatt per annum 15 to 20 tons carbon footprints are reduced. So this is basically that how important all these aspects are. Now, for robust financial planning is to be done because smart city will be requiring lot of additional infrastructure. So smart financial planning is to be done that by the time the previous investment, next equipment is procured, the previous investment should not go waste. So it is basically on that smart mobility solution. All will be networked. It will require hardware, and for this you will be requiring the robust financial planning. forward sustainable smart cities to plan for a sustainable business model, to implement the smart city plan, to develop a smart city agenda around the environment resilience of the region, increase citizen participation by capacity building and making them active stakeholders. Ecologically ethical utilization of natural resources, use of resources and abatement of pollution within carrying capacity of nature, biodiversity and cohabitation of local residents and floating populace to be enhanced. Three are reduce, reuse and recycle to minimize waste and energy consumption. So it is factor for sustainable development in smart cities. This is basically just for info statistical purposes, what I'm just now. A field problem and a component of a smart grid smart city, design and monitoring of hybrid active power filter for smart city application. I'll be taking one case of hybrid active power filter for smart city application. I would request anybody if having any query up to this point, because this was basically the background or the preamble required to understand what is smart city, what are the various aspects, and how it should be addressed. So anybody can have few questions in 2 minutes time. Then I will continue with this hybrid active power filter for the smart city application. Any query, please? Okay, so now I'm continuing with the design and monitoring of hybrid active power filter for smart city application. Now, in this section, the outlines are introduction to filters, HAPS as a component of a smart city, passive and active power filter, hybrid active power HAPF, principle of operation, controllability, description of elemental block of HAPF, hybrid active power filter, PWM monitoring. Before doing some work in this area, some publications and references have been towards in the past few slides. Introduction to filters are power quality conditioners, therefore often called as power filters, required for improving the quality of power. The harmonic frequencies creep into the system, thereby deteriorating the power quality. The acceptable total harmonic distortion as per IEEE standard 519/2014 is 5% for source current. The filters available for elimination of harmonics are passive filters, active filters, and hybrid filters. All the filters differ in their configuration and control strategy. So I'm not going into much details of these. Most of you must be aware with the filter configuration and these details. My focus will be for the smart sustainable city. Passive filters are economical, simple design and robust, provides low impedance path to the harmonics, suffer series and parallel resonance problem. Active filters eliminate the drawback of passive filters. It injects compensating harmonic current in the nonlinear load current. It has high installation and running cost and high power rating. Hybrid filters combine the advantages of both passive filters and active filters. They are cost effective and has a small power rating, making them indispensable. Hybrid active power filter as a component for a smart city. Smart grid requires hybridization of renewable energy sources. It becomes a must that the smooth integration of renewable energy is established that also unburden the conventional power system. The concept of distributed generation, that is solar, wind, etc., are is also an important aspect of these smart sustainable cities. The renewable energy sources cannot be synchronized directly with the smart grid until regulated with power converters. These electronic devices are non-linear in nature and tends to introduce harmonics in the system. Even the present-day electric locomotives are also culprit of injecting harmonics in the power system. These harmonics are eliminated using filters. The role of hybrid active power filter is the major focus in the HSES system. The demand for maintaining steady voltage, current, and frequency for industrial, official, and domestic purposes. Smart city environment, the seamless integration of renewable energy system with smart grid is vital. The energy harnessed from renewable energy sources are DC in nature. They must be converted to AC with proper frequency and voltage. Requires numerous power conditioning equipment, DC to DC converter, DC to AC converters. Power electronic devices, high power switching are incorporated to serve the purpose. High power switching introduces electromagnetic interference within the circuit and distort the ideal sinusoidal waveform at PCC. This becomes the major cause of harmonics in source current. HAPF is the most judicious choice to avoid harmonics problem in HSES and simultaneously compensate for reactive power. I am just passing these slides because nothing new. It is common what has been already all understand that it is a shunt passive filter. They are different configuration, blah blah. So I will be just looking at the specifically for the smart city. So passive filter, single phase, three wire, three phase, four wire, shunt series, and the passive filter. Actually, the hybrid active power filters are designed on the basic structure of passive filter. One of the most followed practice is the localization of passive filter to ensure the maximum ability of the filter to mitigate harmonics from the system. Passive filters, load is there, source is there, and in between the load and source, the passive filter is connected. Then, this figure shows that it is connected. I just tried to explain what is how the passive filters do work, the mathematical treatment for that, different types of single tuned passive filters, then the double tuned passive filters, damped filters. It is all mathematics which you can have from different. Now in this case, what we have done in order to evaluate its suitability for the smart city is a math. We have simulated these filters on MATLAB, and that for tuned harmonic capacitance, inductance, what other parameters, and what other filter parameters are given over here. Then result using SPF in three-phase system. The figure shows simulation of three-phase system without passive filter, and the THD is found to be 29.99%. Okay. Fifth, seventh, and 11th harmonics were in dominant. So definitely because the THD was too much, 29.99%, so it has to be reduced. With the SPF and the THD remarkably reduced to 29.99% to 10.15%, it has been reduced due to the use of filter. Shunt passive filter SPF limitations are passive filter exhibits excellent performance, yet there are few limitations. Some limitations I have jotted down over here. Shunt active power filter. So active power filter again different SAPF, SEAPF, single phase they are again three types. Single phase 3 wire, single phase 4 wire. Similarly, SEAPF single phase 3 wire, single phase 4 wire, and another how it is being connected shunt or series. So this is shunt active SAPF, shunt active power filter. So these are the what shunt active power filters are. Shunt active power filter, how this the configuration is there, and then followed by the principle is to inject. How it works, it is principle is to inject harmonic current equivalent to the distorted waveform. This requires calculation of reference current using different algorithms. The gating current of the converter are generated using hysteresis and current controller used because of its simplicity. Shunt active power filter uses pi controller to maintain DC bus capacitor voltage. The constant of pi controller Kp and Ki are determined infinitely. Then the active power filter designing, I don't find that these will be of interest in context to the smart city. Only thing is that our interest is because the smart city make use of lot of switching devices. These switching devices injects harmonics to the system, so we have to use some filters which can maintain the power quality at reasonably good level. Now the hybrid active power filter, again that is hybrid active power filters are applicable for moderate to heavy industries. The main objective is to mitigate power quality problem from the distribution side. The principle of operation of high, hybrid active power filter is combination of SPF and SAPF. Control of hybrid power filter is control of HAPF is obtained by generating reference current signal using control algorithm. Numerous control algorithms are present in literature survey. The instantaneous reactive power theory, also called PQ theory, is implemented in this work. PQ theory is easily applicable in both steady state and transient state. It uses Clark transformation and defines instantaneous power in three domains, in time domains, in mathematical analysis. How the PQ theory can be applied to. Now, if we are using hybrid active power filter in three-phase system, the complete simulation is composed of a three-phase, three-wire source, non-linear load, hybrid active power filter consisting of PWM converter and control circuit. Now the three-phase signal is passed through coupling inductor to cancel current, ripple and better integration. Further, the signal is passed through 3 arms universal bridge through VI measurement block. The bridge is further combined with DC capacitor and VDC is measured. The reference VDC and VDC star and VDC is applied to PI controller to calculate power loss. Then some waveforms, what are the harmonic filter, then how the percentage THD is being reduced, so which was originally without the filter 29.99. Due to passive filter, it got reduced to 10.1. Filter it further reduced to 4. With hybrid passive active filter, it reduced to 2.02. In fact, this was a simulation was done using the lab view. So some lab view panel on that count aspect, this is information is also shared. To conclude the presentation discusses the issue of power quality problem in smart grid environment as a serious threat. The performance of SPF is analyzed that the THD is not within the specified limits of IEEE standard 519 to 2014. The APF is investigated in the same system and the results are found within the specified limit for THD percentage. A hybrid filter is designed that combines the advantages of SPF and APF, and the performance is analyzed. The THD percentage noted down with nonlinear loop in for the source current is below the limits recommended by IEEE standard. Uh, That is 2.02. So now at this point, I would like to say that due to the in the smart city, definitely because of too much use of different devices which injects current harmonics, it is a challenge to maintain the quality of supply. To maintain the quality of supply, we require that this harmonics content should be reduced, and therefore the hybrid active filters are the as choose filter which can reduce the harmonic component. Depending upon the future developments, at someday the new technology may come up and it may be situation that some other type of filter may be more useful than as compared to this. Among this is also different topologies, different design methodologies. One can find that it can be further reduced using the some other topology. So that is the that is with the future. The monitoring part is designed in LabVIEW for monitoring different parameters of the smart grid environment. So out of this, there were some publications we got, we get that is in different journals and conferences we got. So now looking at the different references which I have used in my presentation. You must have working group 1, working group 2, working group 3, working group 4, and Government of India expectations. So you can see that there are, I have included all these references over here. That Smart City Mission, Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India is the source for different information I got for the purpose of comparing or emphasizing the philosophy of smart cities. And besides that, there are certain references which are dedicated to power quality issues and filters. And so, in fact, one would look that only first reference is regarding the smart city and rest of the references, that is total 6 are for the rather 5 are for the filter and another 6 which is also a bit oriented towards that only, that is the instantaneous power theory. So that's all about my today's presentation. My questions which I would like to all of you to find the answers for them is, what is the difference between a smart city and an intelligent city? Another is, what are various expectations from the smart city. That is a with what objectives these smart cities are what with what objective the smart cities are being developed, and what will be the future of smart city, that what will be the future expectation from the smart city. So with these words, I just conclude my presentation session, and now I would request all of you, if you do have any query or question, you please come up.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good.
Sir, will you please repeat the questions because it was in a speed we could not write or remember.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hello, sir. If it is possible, then please send it to GTU host so he or she can share all the question with all the students. So it's better you can write or give just like assignment. You just send all the questions so we can answer.
Sir, your voice is muted.
Sir, you are muted. Sir, yet you are muted, sir. We are not able to hear from you.
I would I would request that for getting the information regarding this presentation, or if some what questions I have posed, I will request that the host please send me a mail with these what is required. I will what is required, then I will revert back. And regarding the smart city, I have taken what I feel about the smart city. So it is something that how the elephant looks, everybody is having different perceptions. So it is my perception of the smart city. Somebody may be having still broader perception of the smart city, but definitely the things are that the objective remains the same, that the quality of life is to be improved, environmental impact is to be reduced, and blah, blah. I have just in the beginning, I have already narrated all those aspects are important for any smart city. So thank you everyone that you gave a patience hearing to my words. I definitely initially I was planning to go in the deep in some research problem, but I found that instead of saying that what is the really at the present day, and there is a lot of scope for research on in this smart city for everyone. It is from the mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, computer engineers, electronics. So for everybody there are lot of scope. And in this, I have some point I have mentioned that the smart pipes. Have you ever heard the term smart pipes? What are the smart pipes? I just would like to share that the smart pipes to monitor pressure difference at, at regular intervals. And this pressure difference indicate whether there is a choking or not. If the pressure build up more, then automatically what is done that there is there are certain devices which starts moving from one end to another, and they push water from the high pressure side to the low pressure side, so that ultimately the pressure difference is maintained as low as possible. So that is basically smart pipes automatically cleans them, and there are not only the arrangements done. There are certain material which are used for smart pipes. That is the inside is PTFE coating of pipe, that is polytetrafluoroethylene, or in common word, Teflon coating is done on the inner side of the pipe so that no plaque deposition takes place. So there are different perspectives, and everybody is having something to contribute on the research front in the smart cities. Can we close this session now? I am just requesting the host to please confirm it. Can we close the session now?
Yes, sir. If it is completed
Okay, so
and
giving thanks to everybody and giving an opportunity to work with me, so you can share, and if you require whatever things are required, please share it on my mail. I will revert back. Thanks, please. Bye bye.
thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.